You've touched on the need for leadership, and there's been an incredible lack of it in most of the West. Why are our leaders not simply pointing to some of the issues that you've just highlighted, some of the realities, some of the facts? They're not really doing it. They're not standing up. How, in your view, and this is the hypothetical, would some of the great leaders from that last great civilisational moment, the 1940s, have responded? And what do you think a Churchill or a Roosevelt or a Truman would have said and tried to convey to their people in these circumstances?
Oh, it's a great question. What a fun thought exercise. Well, I think it would have been very similar for all three of them. Which, first off, there would have been a clear moral position, putting aside whatever you think about the history of the land or anything else. You cannot burst into a country's borders and rape its women and behead people and murder. And, John, I saw the 47-minute video. There's a video that the IDF is only showing to select members of the media and some dignitaries because family members of people that are being murdered and attacked in the videos don't want it to be fully released. So for all of the horrific videos that people have seen about it, it's worse. I've seen things that I won't even begin to explain to you here. But I think there would have been absolute moral clarity. Winston Churchill, or if it was Truman, Roosevelt, it wouldn't have mattered. There would have been moral clarity. You have a duty to defend your citizens, period. The irony, of course, is that the Israelis don't want any boots on the ground. They don't want American troops. They don't want British troops. They don't want Australian troops. They'd like some weapons. They'd like to be able to do the job and not run out of ammunition while doing it, on top of the fact that one of the main takeaways that I had from being there was that the real war hasn't even started there, because the real war is the war in the north with Hezbollah, which is far more powerful than Hamas. You know that there's 100,000 Israelis that don't live in their homes since October 7th from the north. Gaza's in the south. The hotel that I stayed at in Tel Aviv was quite a nice hotel. It was largely refugees from the north. So there is a war coming after this war that potentially could be worse than this war. But I think if we just simply had clear moral leadership, we certainly would have got it from Winston Churchill, and of course Truman was the first Western leader to recognize Israel in 1948. I think that that's all they would have needed. It would have just been a little bit of leadership, but we don't have great leaders across the board. I think that there's some glimmers of hope out there, but we don't, unfortunately, have many of them right now.